In the year 2000, Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for just $50 million. They said no. Today, Netflix is worth over $250 billion, and Blockbuster is basically extinct. This is the story of the single business mistake that cost a company everything. But here's the crazy part. Blockbuster didn't die because of Netflix alone. It died because of ego, late fees, arrogance, and one meeting that changed entertainment forever. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why Blockbuster ignored every warning sign, the moment Netflix almost went bankrupt, and the brutal final decision that destroyed a $5 billion empire. Stay until the end, because the final twist is unbelievable. Back in the 1990s, Blockbuster wasn't just successful. It was unstoppable. At its peak, 9,000 stores, 65 million customers, and billions in revenue. Friday night at Blockbuster was basically an American ritual. You'd walk through endless shelves of movies, fight over the newest release, grab snacks, maybe a video game, felt massive. And because they dominated the industry, they thought nobody could touch them. That confidence would become their biggest weakness. Then two guys showed up with a weird little idea. Mailing DVDs in red envelopes. Nobody took them seriously. Their company? Netflix. Now here's where things get interesting. Blockbuster was making a fortune. But not from renting movies. They made huge money from something customers absolutely hated. Late fees. In some years, late fees made up almost 16% of their profits. Think about that. People were literally funding the company by forgetting to rewind and return movies. And Netflix saw the opening instantly. No late fees. Keep movies as long as you want. Delivered to your house. Simple. Convenient. Dangerous. Imagine this. You drive to Blockbuster, your movie is out of stock. Then you get charged extra because you returned it late. Meanwhile, Netflix says, "Relax. We'll mail it to you." That tiny difference changed everything. Then came the moment that would go down in business history forever. In 2000, Netflix was struggling badly. They were losing money. Their founders flew to Blockbuster headquarters with an offer. Buy Netflix for $50 million. That's it. $50 million. For comparison, today that's less than what Netflix makes in a few days. And according to reports, the Blockbuster executives laughed them out of the room. Actually laughed. They believed online movie rentals were a niche idea that would never scale. Huge mistake. Because while Blockbuster was protecting its old business, Netflix was building the future. And the scary part? Blockbuster still had time to recover. But then they made another fatal decision. As Netflix started growing, Blockbuster finally realized the threat was real. So they launched their own DVD buy mail service. And honestly, first, it was working. They had brand recognition, money, stores everywhere. For a brief moment, Netflix was actually scared. But Blockbuster had a giant problem hiding underneath everything. Their stores. Thousands of them. Those stores weren't assets anymore. They were anchors. Blockbuster couldn't fully commit to the future because it would destroy the business they already had. Netflix had no stores to protect. No old system. No fear. So while Blockbuster hesitated, Netflix evolved again. Streaming. And this is where the game officially ended. Nobody saw streaming coming fast enough. Except Netflix. By the late 2000s, everything started collapsing. People stopped visiting stores. Late fees disappeared. Debt exploded. And Blockbuster kept making desperate moves too late. Meanwhile, Netflix became addictive. One click. Endless movies, no driving anywhere. Blockbuster tried to compete, but it was like trying to stop a tsunami with a bucket. Then came the final blow. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Company that once dominated entertainment, destroyed in less than a decade. And today, there's only one Blockbuster store left on Earth. One. From 9,000 stores to one tourist attraction. That's how fast industries can change. But this story isn't really about movies. It's about what happens when successful companies stop listening. Blockbuster had more money, more customers, more power. But Netflix had something more important: adaptability. The companies that survive aren't always the biggest. They're the ones willing to destroy their own old success before someone else does it for them. And honestly, that lesson applies to everything right now. I.e., business, content creation, technology. The next Blockbuster could already exist today, and not even realize it. Imagine being the executive who laughed at Netflix. One decision, one meeting, one missed opportunity, and suddenly, you become the biggest business failure case study in modern history. A $50 billion mistake. All because they thought the future looked stupid. And the craziest part? Almost every dying company says the exact same thing before it collapses. People will never change. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe because I'm making more videos about the biggest business wins, failures, and decisions that changed history forever. And comment this: would you have bought Netflix? Because honestly, back then, most people probably would have said no too.